So a few years ago, talking about maybe good 15 years ago anyway, I was in America, right? My sister stays there, and I thought I'll go over. And when I'm over, she was like, let's go out for some drinks, And I was like, I don't really want to go to a straight bar. Can you take us to a gay bar? She was like, well, let's go out with mum and dad first. Let's go for dinner, and then after it, once they go to their bed, I'll take you downtown. And I think it was to Minneapolis. It was. So we gets in a taxi and goes down to Minneapolis, and she's like, here's a gay pub, let's go in this gay pub. The music was like pumping, right? It had things that you could jump up on top of and dance on in the middle of the dance floor. There was guys in showers, right? They had showers. This is what we need, actually. We need these here. So basically, they had showers along one side of the wall. So like glass chambers. And people were getting showered in them. Like guys, it was like dancers with tiny wee thongs on. And I was like, oh my God. Anyway, so drinking and dancing and falling off these things in the middle of the flare. Ogling up these kind of young laddies or whatever, wee thongs on inside these showers. And then all of a sudden, right, the lights came on and we got chucked to a side door. And it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. So I went from being totally sober to guttered. It's not like me. So I'm like, oh my God, where am I? I'm in the middle of like Minneapolis. I've just been chucked to a side door. I didn't know how to get back in here again. And my sister and her husband and my partner, they were like, oh, we're here, let's get in a taxi. So we jumps in this taxi, and it was a guy like a hillbilly that was driving, right? Long hair, greasy, couple of teeth, and a baseball cap on, right? So I sat in the front, and they were in the back. And I reckon why, but I couldn't stop tickling this guy. So he was trying to drive, right, on the motorway or the highway. And I'm tickling him. And he wasn't happy at all, right? I was drunk. And he was, honestly, he was bogging. He wasn't even a good looking guy. Not that that matters, because I would tickle anybody, but normally for a charge. But anyway, I'm tickling him, and he's actually saying to my sister, you need to get him to stop, because if he doesn't stop, I'm going to stop and let you out. I think I'm drunk and I need to get out of this car. And we're on the middle of the highway. So we eventually come off the highway, and the guy says, get him out the front seat, put him in the back. I'm not driving any further without him in the back, right? So I did. I jumped to it, and I managed to get into the back and put my seatbelt on. My partner jumps in the front, and we're driving towards our hotel, which is about 3 miles away. And I think, oh, I'm going to be sick. Oh, I'm going to be sick. Oh, I'm going to be sick. I'm being sick. And just as I went like that, my partner puts his hand over my mouth, and it goes everywhere. It sprays up and down the door and the window, right? And we're in this taxi. This guy's gone mental, by the way. So he stops on the side of the highway, and the door opens, and I'm hanging out with a seatbelt still on me, being sick in the middle of the highway. And he's trying to clean it all and whatever, and I'm just like gutted, looking at him thinking, oh, I'm so sorry, just take me home. So anyway, we comes back onto the motorway. The smell's bogging, by the way, right? And we gets to our hotel, and he missed the roundabout, and he went over the roundabout by mistake, and he blew 2 tyres. By the time we got to outside the front of our by the time we got outside the actual hotel, he was on silver rims on 2 of his tyres. Honestly. So not only was he like tickled to death, he was sick on, and then he was going home with a taxi that had 2 tyres left. Oh, my sister's shouting, you've missed it, the part about covering his eyes when he was driving. Now that's not a good thing to do if you're on a motorway. If you're on a motorway and you're going about 80 to 90 miles an hour, didn't sit behind the driver and put your hands over his eyes. That's a silly thing to do. So we get to the hotel entrance, right? And I'm steaming, by the way. I'm absolutely mortal. So I just get to it and actually walks up to the hotel as if like nothing's happening. my partner and my sister's husband, they're like, can we help you like change the tyre? The guy's like that, just go. Go, I don't even want money. Go, get away from me. Right, so I gets up to the hotel room and I'm slumped outside the door, right? I've obviously managed to find the hotel room and I'm virtually slumped outside the door. My partner comes and he's like, you need to get up, you need to go into this room, you need to go to your bed. Now, if anybody knows me, right, I drink Resolve, right? I drink Resolve, which is a hangover cure. I normally have one before I go out. I normally have one when I come home. And I've never had a hangover in, like, honestly, well, since that time, 15 years ago. But what then happened was, I fell asleep face down on the bed. So my partner, because there was only one Resolve, fucking drunk the Resolve. I swear to God, I woke up in the morning, couldn't even lift my head. I could not lift my head. I was mortal. And then with a 2-hour drive, we were going somewhere. I had to sit with a poly bag on my knees. 2 hours, right? And it was about, honestly, it was about 80 or 90 degrees. It was fucking roasting. I was honestly dying. And then when we got to Chicago, they took us to a sports bar. Didn't even like fucking sport. Excuse my French. It took us to a sports bar and it was like tennis or whatever playing, right? Big massive, let me just play this in the background. Big massive TV screens. And it had somebody playing like tennis or something and I thought, bulk, I just need to go to the toilet. So I sat in a toilet inside Chicago and the Brits pub it was called, right? They're all upstairs drinking and eating and whatever. I've got my head down the toilet for about 2 hours. I had my top off and everything. I was absolutely sweating. I was having the shakes and everything. And then we had to drive home 2 hours. A 4 hour, honestly, that was the worst like day of my life. I cannot believe that my partner for one didn't give me that Resolve and woke me up. Speak to him, actually I fell out with him after that. Anyway, when I spoke to him the other day, they were spoken about this, I think it was yesterday, the day before. He was like, you wouldn't even wake up. I was trying to wake you up, you wouldn't wake up. And I was like, no, it's your fault. You made me no drink that. Anyway, I had the absolute hangover from hell. So Marky, if you're still on, do you still want to go on that night out with me? I'm no good.